crossing the Narrows in Manitoba. Lake Manitoba Narrows. Just going over the bridge here on day 2 of 2023. I spent a lot of time driving to think. I don't know if a lot of people do that, but I've been doing it quite a bit lately. Currently got somebody behind me, a big bus. Oh, it looks like a Doritos truck driving in behind me. Anyways, we're at day 3, 2023. 2022 was a year that did not start out very well, and did not get off to a great start for me and my son, and it's been we've been living basically just us since Ariana left in 2021, near the end of 2021. And in 2022 we were living in Winnipeg. I didn't have any work except for being a what do you call that, shopper. I forget what it's called now, but it had a green card. I didn't really mind that job. It was harder than it sounded. A lot of lifting, a lot of running around searching for stuff I normally wouldn't buy. But that's what I was doing, just trying to make ends meet, boring money, getting a lot of help from a lot of awesome people throughout the end of 2021 and the start of 2022. Eventually things started kicking off, and I got a job in Lake Manitoba, Dog Creek Indian Reserve, which is where I'm coming from now. I'm heading to Dauphin. I need to get away. I'm suffering from depression and some mental health problems that started in 2021, but turns out they may have started a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But at least I'm aware of those issues and trying to work my way through them. I have a lot of trust issues given the past couple of years now, given my whole life. I was somebody, I think I've been isolated most of my life. Sometimes I think maybe I've suffered from ADHD or maybe on the spectrum for autism, but I've spent a lot of time alone and being okay with being by myself, whether it was staying at home watching TV and cleaning up, and just, about, I think maybe I was about 10 or 11 or maybe 12, and like the girls were gone. I believe Bo was already off to school, or he was off doing his own thing, and I spent a lot of time alone in the bush, just going for walks, nature, reading, watching a heck of a lot of TV once that addiction kicked in. But I spent a lot of time alone, and these past couple of years I've spent even more time alone during the whole COVID lockdown and getting around that, having my family all back together, and then the dispersing of us as a family and having to deal with that and being alone. Even though I have my son, I still feel very lonely, and I know that that's not his fault. I'm sure he feels the same a lot of the times, but like me, he's okay with being by himself. I'm just dealing with my relationships with my fellows, with people, with other people, and finding that trust and maintaining that trust and cherishing that trust, by being courteous, or remembering to start with kindness rather than so much of what I'm finding is people leading with their fucking asshole face, And maybe that's the thing I've been having to learn. Maybe that's why I keep to myself, is I just don't understand how we're supposed to work together as people in this world. And it makes me sad. It makes me anxious. It makes me doubt myself way too much. I wish I didn't doubt myself But it's one of my weaknesses that people can pick up on, is that that little chip of something missing on my shoulder that longs for acceptance and fellowship. My problem being is, like, I have really big trust issues going right back to childhood, and as far as turning to a higher power, I've turned to a higher power. I find that I conflict with others on what exactly the higher power is and the structure of how that's supposed to govern your life and the choices you make. I find myself butting heads and being very resentful towards my Christian brothers, my fellowship out there, because of the history of what's going on with Christianity and how it's been manipulated and used to inflict such horrible, horrible lies and damage and hypocrisy, and how after we're free now as First Nation people to make a choice and to be allowed to make your connection with God, that doesn't have to be through a church or a cross or a bleeding man on a cross, or the suffering that bleeding man gave for you, and more on the wisdom and the path that he took and the fellowship that he was able to bring about against the injustice of the rulers, whether they be Romans or, as the Romans eventually codified within the Bible, the Jews. Past couple of years, I went and confirmed who I am as far as my heritages and my genetics and my ethnicity. It never really cast into any doubt in that I am a Cree man, raised in a Cree community by Cree parents, and that's the language I know. The Cree culture was just remnants of what it was then. That's all it was. We're just trying to rebuild that. And that's where my resentment for Christianity and Christians comes in, is they're still trying to make it out that what that is evil and has no place around children. Of all things, Christianity, right? Telling us that our culture has no place around children, or that children should not be exposed to that. From what I understand in the ceremonies that I've been through, all of our life is a blessing, and everything that's living is a blessing, a connected blessing to all of us. We're all connected. We're all bound to life and the blessing of life, and it's finite. It doesn't last forever. So you treat people how you want to be treated. You treat people kind so that you're treated kind. You help when people are down so that when you're down, you will be helped. That the smudge, the medicines of those smudge connects you with your ancestors, connects you with your soul inside, and connects you with everything that is existence and the higher power that brought all of it into being. And I don't think you should be damning people to hell, to burn forever, just because they don't worship Jesus the same way you, or they don't worship Jesus at all. Because so much of what I've seen in my life and what I've read in my life is the hypocrisy of people that love Jesus, say they love Jesus, say they live by the path that Jesus set forward, and then they do the exact opposite because of the power that they gain through that worship, I think, or the power that the structures of that worship creates, either through the pastor at the front leading the choir, or the really consistent attendees and the worshipers, and they're always judging each other. and then smiling to each other, and then wondering about how it works with sin, you know. I've always been taught, or I've learned from my existence, is that to be a Christian is to be washed from your sin from the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He washed your sin away, your mortal original sin, and that by praying and continuing to keep that connection with Jesus, if you sin again, He will cleanse you through forgiveness. But I've seen that taken advantage, that people see that forgiveness as being absolute, always there. If they do something, it doesn't matter what they do, it doesn't matter how wrong we do, what kind of horrible things they do, they'll be forgiven and it'll be forgotten. And they'll be forgiven and absolved, free to sin again without ever learning. One of the sad things about me is I'm often self-loathing and guilt-ridden upon myself, feeling bad about things for the entirety of my life. I'm trying to find ways to forgive myself and getting there, but I keep cycling back to being hard on myself and doubting myself, trying to go back on progress of myself, you know. And 2023, I hope to fix that spirit. Just chase it, not chase it. Fix it. Get more medicines, new medicines from the earth. Connect to the land by doing a walk every day. I'm going to do that every morning from now on. Just to breathe that fresh air, not stay trapped in the box that I've set up for myself. Then I want to fix this box, this vessel, make it as beautiful and healthy as I can. But most importantly, what's inside this vessel and how disjointed and disconnected it can be towards those others, and how they've helped me and how I can help them. Help my spirit, help my body, help my mind, help my emotions. The spirit of 2023.